Welcome back to Duskfall. Hello, everyone. We're back with another session of Blades in the Dark, your chaotic neutral games, and we're going to be joining Simon, Kat, Kev, and Mike. I almost forgot his. Sorry. As we join them again in Duskwall, see like how bad things get this time. Remember, you can always join in on the chaos on chat. You can, if you want to support us, you can always subscribe, or you can click on the link down below and join our Discord because we always have relevant conversations there. So without further ado, let's jump back in as we jump back into the city of ghosts and broken dreams and see where the crew fucks up this time.
Yikes.
And hello, how's everyone doing? How are you feeling this fine Tuesday that it's totally not cursed?
hey, this one isn't cursed yet. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're pulling this out. No more of this cursed Tuesday bullshit.
Yeah.
So yeah, how is everyone doing?
Tuesday has treated me well. Tuesday has treated me very well today.
Good
so
to hear.
Yeah, I'm
glad
hoping
to be
Sunday
here,
is going to
but,
be as okay as Tuesdays have been, at least.
Got to wake up late and hungover. So far, so good.
Sounds productive.
Living that checkers life.
I'm getting into character.
Method acting, darling.
This is-
Method
yeah.
acting.
You're
This is
still, yeah.
no, it's not method acting until it's methadone acting.
Yeah. Method. Oh yeah, Arrested Development. I watch it. Yeah.
Okay.
Profusely.
All
Get the
right. So let's just jump back into it, shall we? I imagine you guys are gonna get into enough trouble today. I want to say it's a rainy day in Duskwall. It's that time of the year. Uh, it's winter. It's winter in the UK, I imagine, or at least like rainy season in the UK.
We're just coming out of it now. Spring's trying to get its own back, but the cold's just not going.
Just had a gloriously sunny day, thank you.
It's the type of day where someone outside is, wearing a raincoat, holding themselves, and just going, "I'm trying to be happy, but it's hard." All right, it's that type of weather.
I didn't know you were British, anyway.
And I want to know what you guys are doing. You managed to get the heat off of both the art score and the Blue Coat Station score. So now you can, I imagine it's like, I'm going to say it's probably 1 or 2 days after, simply because of how I ended the last session, right? If you remember, Jacob, you found a note hammered to the front door of your mansion, quote unquote. It's not right. It was a circle of fire with an eye in the middle, and the only words in it were "We know."
Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is coming after you.
I'd like to think
it
that
was
Johnny
really
Cash
hard
do
to
well
get.
in Duskfall. Man in Black, he blends it. No, never mind.
Racing.
So yeah, so just a reminder of that. But for now, I want to know what everyone is doing after the last few weeks or so of crimes, TM.
DM, choose who on the table is going first.
Checkers, I want to know how you're handling all of this.
My stomach effing hurts. I'm going around building things, and as soon as food or drink goes into my stomach, I grab my stomach and just, I'm okay.
You're still woozy. Remember that. You haven't cleared
Yeah,
that harm. You're still
I'm
woozy.
exactly. I'm poisoned.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been dealing with that, and I haven't been able to get anything done at all, other than uh, the costumes, the disguises for everybody in town to set a fashion trend. You know.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he kept going.
Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
kept going. No one told me to stop.
It's worse considering, I imagine, because of the anesthetic incident, you basically have input delay, which means is
Yeah.
like you feel like you think about your arm putting your arm down, but your arm doesn't actually come down like 1 second later.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Slate, what are you up to?
So that warning that we got at our, was it the front door?
It was the front door.
Put me on something of a high alert. Slate's been spending a lot of time trying to work over all the defenses again, making sure that everything's set up at an even higher level of security. But he's also started to find vantage points closer to home. So many evenings he's perched, watching from above to see if anybody approaches the door, if anybody's actually showing any signs of awareness of where we're staking out our little corner of town. So yeah, there's a lot going on in his head at the minute of the angles and the
Mhm.
considerations.
I'm not gonna make you roll for it. I'm just gonna tell you that ever since that warning has been posted on your on your cruise and on the lair's entrance, you like you said, but so far the sights are the same 6 towers, same dilapidated streets, same gloomy headlamps, same everything, same haunted atmosphere. There's nothing out of order, which doesn't make you feel easier, but it's what it is. It is what it is. Cass, what have you been up to?
I've been laying low because I'm trying not to be recognized right now. I'm hoping all of that will blow over. So I've been kind of sitting in this drawing room that I've set up for myself in the middle of the base, watching everyone come and go, reading my books. Occasionally I'll just make irritating comments at whoever's going by. You know, I'm picking on Checkers and how he's still feeling ill, and I'm just like happily drinking my wine and going, do you want some? No? Are you sure?
Kicking me while I'm down, eh, Master Cass?
And then when Jacob comes by, I'm gonna interrupt him from whatever he's doing. Say, people don't threaten each other for no reason. They're not just going to come and attack us or anything. They want something. What do they want?
I sit down at a slightly oversized chessboard. It's a cheap chessboard. The cheaper chessboards had larger pieces because they were easier to carve. And you can see that there's a folded note of paper under each of the pieces. And he's just studying it. He's just studying it. The pieces of paper on the black side, dark hole solution after all, are reasons why people would feel attacked by us. The pieces of paper under the brown pieces, because it never used to be black and white, it used to be black and brown. Underneath the brown pieces, they are reasons why people would want to take something from us. And every now and again, he's just moving the pieces. That he's not even keeping them to the squares. He's just kind of going, taking like 3 or 4 of them, scooping them to one area of the board, and then kind of arranging some of the brown pieces so that they are kind of facing it. What if... You're right. I mean, you're right in the method. You don't need an excuse to attack somebody in Duskfall. But... But you're right. There's a stimulus here. Whoever found us, first of all, they know us. Enough more than I would like. Then after that, is there something triggered, something personal, something specific? Or is it just that they don't like our moment in the limelight? I'm not sure. And at that point, I move all of the pieces back onto what is the start of a regular chessboard. And he starts looking at it again, reaching out.
Oh,
that's okay.
we lost Kevin.
We lost Kevin. He's just rearranging his... suspects. I'm just going to rearrange just a sec.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that good old.
goes
Good
here.
old.
Yeah, we got to do the
back
shuffle,
ev-
man. Got to do the shuffle. Oh, hang on, he's
Back
gone again.
everybody.
That
Yep.
is right. Okay, and Cat is me. Now I am Mike. Now Mike is Cat. Go here. Yay! Did it.
This sounds wonderful out of context, not gonna lie.
Oh.
I just came in,
I've
so
got a
I'm out
no
of context.
Hang on a sec. I've got a no sound here. Is that still true, Ed?
Oh shit.
It's not Cursed Tuesday yet.
It is now. Oh, on the 4-person
Okay,
screen. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. On the 4-person
Oh,
screen.
thank.
Okay,
Thank
yeah. That's
Right.
right. That's right. When I set up the 4 and then the 5, I must have not put something in. I will do that in just a second. Thank you very much.
Please tell me everyone managed to catch everything so far.
But yes, chessboard and the black pieces being what we have done, and the brown pieces, what other people. Sorry, what black pieces what we have for people to take, and the brown pieces is what they would want from us, or aggression towards us, triggers.
I tear a corner off of the book that I'm reading, and scroll on it, framed for murder, and I pick the Black Queen up and I place it under the Black Queen.
Brilliant.
That sentence though almost gave me a heart attack.
Could you just describe the note again?
Have you ever played Dark Souls? If you
If
haven't,
it's anything to do with console or PC gaming, just assume I am as ignorant as they come.
right, but for those who have, it's basically the dark sign from Dark Souls, like just like a very thin ring, right? Perfectly round. There's an eye in the middle, right? And it was just the two words, we know. That's all it is. So, imagine it's been quite a tense atmosphere so far ever since that note was, lovely handed to you. However, and something you've noticed is that since you have kind of received not much of an influx of jobs, like the well, it's kind of like the well has gone dry, all right? I will let you know that like people are talking about you on the streets. People are talking about the dark coal solution as like rumors and whispers, right? You have the feeling that if you do one more job, it will probably enough to, you know, make yourselves more known.
See, we were going for was it is it Jarrett or Garrett? We were trying to become the best thief the world has never seen. But yeah, we're
Hey,
going
man, I'm
Jesse
sorry, but
James, aren't
that's
we? Let's face it, we're going Jesse James. So,
I'm sorry, but that's how the reputation like meter works.
by the way, for particularly young people, Jesse James was an original outlaw, not Jesse and James from Pokemon.
Oh,
Ouch.
wow. Nice. I didn't
So
know.
anyway, so yeah, you guys need a job, and sounds like you're probably gonna have to put in some legwork for this one. Now I'm not gonna open the floor for brainstorming among you guys. Uh, See what your characters want to target next.
should we do this in character?
Hmm.
By all
Yes,
means.
sirree.
So if we've pissed off somebody from one of our most recent jobs, it probably makes sense to go to a different neighborhood this time.
Agreed. I'd rather not mess with Silkshore if you don't mind. We're still kind of light there. People are at least talking about us with a certain amount of, shall we say, hype.
Start walking around and noticing all the papers and different documents you have on the walls and everything. And I go to Slate, like, do you think that Flaming Butthole has anything to do with the man with no face?
I don't think. I don't think so. That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, there's a possibility we could connect the two. But what part does that play?
Maybe you were
How,
seen. I
how
don't
do we
know.
circle that back around? Let me think about that. I could maybe go and follow up with that. Have a look at the sergeant, see what he's up
Oh.
to.
Also, Slate, just a quick reminder. The Truth Above All have asked you for a painting.
Yeah, certainly. I was coming up to that in a minute, but
Okay.
yeah, I think checkers that it just doesn't gel for me that it's that. It feels like it's some other player we don't know. And also that faceless man, that whisper in my mind, feels like more of an individual than a group. God, I hope that's not a group. I hope there's not that many of them that can do that to me. It's an unsettling gap in my memory. And if there are more of them that can do that, I'm going to have nightmares.
Yeah, we'll slow down on the T for you for the time being.
Okay, but I think maybe we take a look at what the lieutenant's doing. I'll follow up on that later. If we're looking for something to do in the meantime, do you remember my interest in the paintings, the ones from before this dark world, the ones that show the real sky beyond? I'd like to get my hands on some of those. And we did such a great job on the last art heist. What could possibly go wrong this time?
I take that as a challenge.
Okay.
I only have
Well, we
one.
rise to challenges.
I only have one thing to put on the table, but frankly, I think it's one for a later job. I'd much rather give our gratitude to the Truth Above. But I have been thinking that seeing as we're getting more known, we need more bolt holes throughout the city. Now, I happen to know of an architect, separate to those who are our allies, obviously. So hopefully we shouldn't be able to piss them off. He's more of a historical architect. In fact, the reason why he's pissed off our friend so much is that he is somewhat of a conservative fellow. Doesn't like change, which of course means that all architects are by default defunct. He wants to keep everything preserved exactly as it is, with no changing, no innovation. And as a result, he has some of the best historical maps of Duskfall in the city. Not the surface, though. He has the maps that I'm looking for of under the city. Moving in this direction, I believe that we'll be able to find various caches throughout the city that we could use for covert drops throughout the city. And yes, I've just used the name, Rodrigo, of one of the things attached to our layer diagram.
Yep.
If we can get our hands,
Interesting.
if we can get our hands on those, who knows what we could do in the future? We could use it to move throughout the city, maybe even find secret pathways throughout the city by which we'd be able to move unnoticed. We have a reputation at the moment, but that reputation means that we have two directions to go in. We can either become infamous, which means that everybody starts getting tempted by the greater coin available for taking us down. Not too pleased about that. Or we can become legendary, a bit of an urban legend. I'd much prefer going down that route. As I say, for now, I think that Slate's option is the better. But I would like to pitch for future that we start looking to utilize the city as an asset rather than scurrying around in the streets like the other rats.
I have a very important question to ask any of you. Has anyone read either the case reports on the Penderin murder, or has anyone read the lieutenant's journal?
I read the lieutenant's journal last week,
Okay.
but I didn't read the other one.
So just give me a moment, then I just need to look up something. Nothing bad, I assure you. Absolutely not.
I probably will have been reading the case notes unless Jacob took them and filed them away as soon as he could.
They'll be in the
Okay.
war room, so you know you've been in and out of there.
All right, so Jacob, because you did read it last week, I am going to retroactively add a piece of information you read back then, if that's okay, right? Of course, Mr. Lieutenant has been receiving bribes and cutting off, like skimming coin off the coffers. It's only natural. He's a blue coat. However, something caught your eye. Apparently, he's been asked to keep certain details of the Pendry murder on the down low, right? And was paid very handsomely for it. He attributes this big payment to Elstera Avrathi. Do you want to see if you recognize that name?
I think we should.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a moment. I just heard the.
It's okay. I misclicked something. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're not in a score just yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is gonna require a roll to see if you can recall something. What you rolling then?
Sorry, who are you asking to roll?
I'm specifically asking Jacob for a roll. I'm just
Right.
waiting for him to choose his skill.
Yep. I guess it would be study.
Sure.
I'm going to pick apart the details. I think study
Okay.
would be the better one to do. I'm assuming this is a controlled position.
Yeah, don't worry about position and effect. We're not in the score yet.
Okay.
Just put whatever.
And no bonus dice, I think, for study.
No bonus dice.
So that
Yo, that's a
Oh.
critical.
is an
That's a critical.
absolute critical.
Cool.
Very happy.
Not only do you recognize the name, you remember the name. Elstera of Rathi is the name of a high-ranking Eruvian diplomat.
Yeah.
You've crossed paths with her before, and in fact, now that you remember, she was at the art gallery.
Damn it. I was focusing on the wrong bloody knob.
I was watching the Eruvians.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cat, you decided to
That-
read the. Sorry, I want to do this first, if that's okay, because they did ask to read the case notes. I'm gonna keep this simple. Some bits have been redacted, but some important information has not. It's probably the information Rothi wanted to keep on the down low. You know, I want to say his name is Sebastian. I forgot the name I gave him for a session, but I know it was started with S, so let's go with that. Sebastian Penderin. Second removed cousin of Lady Penderin, which is one of the most influential figures in the city. All right, big nobility. And here's the thing that you notice. The autopsy does mark multiple bruisings as quick as the autopsy had to be because the spirit wardens had to haul the body as soon as they can to the crematorium. All right. Bruises, stabbed, right? Like, cause of death was probably a lot of internal bleeding. However, there's another detail you notice, right? And this is probably what whoever, like, Arathi was paying to keep it down low. He had no eyes when he stumbled onto the gallery.
As in, no eyes has never had no eyes.
No.
God, that's good English. He's never had no eyes. Never had eyes, or had
when
his eyes
he
plucked out.
He had his eyes plucked out.
Delightful.
Didn't see that coming.
Did we see that when we were there?
He fell down face first onto the ground, and the ensuing hysteria made it so you really couldn't go over to him, roll him over, and check him in more detail. So no, this would have been something you missed.
By the way,
No.
the name was Selin Penderin.
Selin, thank you. So I'm gonna write that down because I didn't expect it to become
Can
important.
we put that on the? Can somebody put that on the Twitch feed so I can
Yeah,
make
just
a
did.
note of that? Oh yeah, thank you. Excellent.
There we go. Okay.
Nice. On the Twitch feed.
Do any of you know anything about this? Is this the signature for anyone? It must be. It's such a weird thing.
Do the fire butthole people pluck eyes out?
You don't know. There's an eye on the symbol. That's all you can get.
I get closer and I'm like, oh, it's an eye. I couldn't see it from over here.
If this was D&D, I would have given you a fucking inspiration. Oh my god.
Yes, that makes way more sense. Now the points are connecting, people.
Okay, so with the new connection to the and that's when the name of the nation that I was about to ask a question about
Eruvia.
just escaped me.
Yep.
The
Eruvian.
Eruvian. I want to say Peruvian. The Eruvians. Now
Same
that I've got a
thing.
connection to the Eruvians, I'm going to stumble over that a couple more times in a minute. Now I've got a connection to them. That was a group that I had my eye on at the art exhibit. At the time, it might not have registered, but could I try and recall? Were there any parties of that group who reacted less surprised, less panicked? What was their expression when the dead body came stumbling and that kind of thing? What could I have maybe gleaned
Give me
now
a
that I know
roll.
to? That's
Uh,
one.
yeah, give me a roll. Something that you with a skill that you feel it's relevant. Because it was chaos. It was absolute chaos, and
Okay.
you guys did not
Well,
help.
I was doing my best to understand the situation, to keep a track of what was going on.
Uh,
And yes, when an unknown is introduced, that's going to throw me sideways. But
Ye-
still, this is a survey type moment for me.
that sounds good to me.
It's controlled and standard because we're outside the heist. 5 and
5.
4.
Give me a moment. This is just something I didn't think about, so I'm gonna have to like come up with some details on the fly.
Sure. Primarily, I'm expecting that those who did know probably weren't there.
Yeah.
So most reactions are going to be quite authentic.
Yeah.
Um,
But
but
90% of reactions were authentic. Most
Mm.
nobility, including Eruvian nobility, because Eruvia Eruvian nobility is actually pretty common in the Dusk. Freaked the fuck out and ran away. However, there were a few that you noticed. Probably one of the magisters, that Cat was trying so hard not to distract, probably reacted less than normal. A few people, maybe a few butlers, maybe.
were they the Eruvians or were they just Duskfall natives?
I mean, a few of them were Eruvian and others were like Akarosian. There were quite a few Skovish butlers. I mean, Skovish people are very common in the working class. What with them being refugees and all.
I mean, it's not out of the question that some of them sneaked in as butlers. It's just what we were intending on doing.
Yeah. But also,
So,
butlers are trained to have that calm demeanor and everything in their stride. Still, it's a little suspect.
so
I wanted to try something actually.
go ahead.
Master Pride, can I see those documents, redacted documents, really quick?
I have them here.
I
Oh.
point to Kaz.
I go over. I'm like, I will not destroy them, but I have to try something, and I want to see if the ink that was used to redact those documents would react different to certain chemicals to the ink that was used to write in those documents, as to reveal what's underneath it.
I guess if you're only putting it on the redacted parts, we lose nothing. So, go ahead. I mean, we've committed it to memory as it is, so go for it.
Or somebody should write it down.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, do me a roll.
Yeah, we'll write some notes beforehand and then hand it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Write what's most important, because I can't read.
Okay, so yeah, do me a roll. Even
Yep.
though we're not doing position and effect, I want to call this risky because, yes. So yeah, just tell me.
I'm gonna tinker.
That sounds about right.
All right. Risky, standard effect. Well, effect doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't matter. I just want to call it risky because it is risky.
All right.
Hey, 6.
Nice.
Cool.
Ayo.
All right. So you managed to either find or make some thinner right? And you were able to somehow carefully apply it over the redacted areas of the paper. However, I'm gonna say that this is going to take time.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the contents on the redacted side of the papers, you're not gonna know until after the score.
All right. Cool.
But you did it. It's gonna be there. I'm just gonna say it's a delayed
See?
reaction.
This is what sober hands can do. This is software checkers.
I think you're right. I think the redacted ink is getting lighter. I can see. I mean, in time, will it completely fade?
I hope. I think it will. I'm having high hopes on this one.
Unredacted paperwork. Who would have thought it?
Yeah. I can't read, but I can write. So this is
Well,
something I discovered back in the war.
Castleman, I think we're going to have some interesting information in a minute.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, sidetrack. Slate, you were saying painting. Sorry, painting.
Sorry about that. Uh-oh.
The autopsy, does it show like what exactly happened with the eyes? Are there details or were they just missing?
I think those details were probably redacted. Like it will probably said subject's eyes were redacted for, you know, yeah. Like it says they were removed. It just doesn't the bit the how and the how is how it was redacted.
Okay.
How about we try to figure out this flaming eye, and find out whose signature this is. Maybe I can go and butter up Salia and see if she's willing to part with a little information.
That's good.
Yes, you do that. And I actually will talk to Eckert, see if he can exhume that body for me. Maybe we can take a look.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, Rodrigo, I would like to consort with Salia and ask if she's seen.
Okay.
And I put the after a good meal and a good chat and things like that, and genuinely say, oh, actually,
Take your time, Mike.
while I'm here, just little brain teaser, Salia, if you don't
Okay.
mind. And this is like hours in. Mostly we've just been enjoying each other's company, and it's a bit of a brain teaser. And all I have is the symbol. I've cut the thing in half, just got the symbol. I like to pride myself on knowing every sigil in the city, and this one flummoxed me. And I hand it to. I kind of slip it across to her. I would like to try a consort roll to convince.
Do your gather your information. Yeah, do your gather information roll.
Sure. So that's just consort.
That's consort. Yeah.
Yeah. Boo-boo-doo-boo-doo. And Eep.
Rip. Okay, so like she takes a sip from her tea, starts staring at it, and stares it in such a way that you're afraid she's gonna start burning holes into the paper, right? I'm afraid I haven't seen this before. I'm really sorry to say. Why? Why such interest in such an occult-looking drawing?
Just found it during our last job, and
Have you now?
yeah, I've just wondered why. I it's not the type of symbol that you just see lying about, and as you say, it looks particularly occult. I do hope I haven't accidentally made a mess in somebody's backyard.
That's true, but you do need to remember that the dusk tends to attract a lot of let's just say the secret societies are a dime a dozen. Eventually, you'll bump into it sooner or later.
As you say, I'm sure it's one of many, and who knows?
Sounds about right.
Where we were, I'm sure that this secret society have come and gone, and this is just an artifact of a long time ago.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sure. So
a silly thing, but thank you, darling, thank you.
you know, she nods, continues drinking her tea. Imagine you spend the rest of the time discussing international politics or something along those lines. You know.
Yeah, and I don't
until she
press
had
her anymore.
Yeah, until she had her fill and she goes back home. Anyway, so yeah, what are you guys thinking about?
I return to the lair, put it up against the wooden wall and stab the symbol and stab it in place with a dagger. Apparently, a secret society is the best that I could get out of her. I don't know whether she was either too afraid to provide the information or if she genuinely didn't know. Either we're working with a bloody amateur here or something so well kept under wraps or so influential that it scared her half to death. I couldn't tell. Anyway, what have you guys got?
Master Cass, boss, do you want to... There's somebody I want you to meet, and it's on your... following up on your line of investigation. I think you find very interesting. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's been helping me get out of pickles. And quite the pickles we've gotten ourselves into these past few days.
You're muted, Kat,
muted.
by the way.
I do quite like getting out of pickles. I'm listening.
So I'm thinking, instead of waiting for all this information and everything, we could check the body ourselves. It has to be buried somewhere.
I suppose that would be a sensible thing to... Yes, of course. I'll come with you.
Yes.
And as soon as you agree, we cut to Dunslow in a pitiful excuse of a graveyard, as it's not longer raining, but it's damp, it's muddy, Duskfall is not like built on swampland, but Dunslow makes it feel like you just stepped into the fucking blood swamps from Doom Eternal. All right, so and you're watching this skeletal, gaunt, sickly-looking excuse of a person, you know, just feverishly digging out holes, right? And it's until, to your horror, that Checkers calls him by name.
Eckerd, good old pal. I came here with my boss today, and she has they have a few questions for you.
He looks up. His hair is barely strings hanging on to his head. He has like his eye permanently closed. You don't know why, but you know, like it's either missing or it's infected. You don't know. Maybe you don't want to know, right? He spits to the ground and is like, "Oh, so you're the fancy person Checker's been talking to me about."
Oh, thank you. It's lovely to meet you, Mr.
Eckerd.
I wouldn't touch his hand. I wouldn't touch his hand.
It's grimy. To say it's grimy would be a fucking understatement.
I wouldn't touch his hand, boss. He has, it's raining and the whole corpse thing, and
yeah. We actually we have a favor to ask.
Spit it out then.
You heard about the the murder up at the art gallery?
No. He lives in the poorest area of the fucking city. Of course he has.
Did you bury a dude with no eyes?
Barry? Look, me no offense, but if he was nobility, then he was probably already ashes.
Hmm.
Do you know who would have examined the body?
Puts his hand on rests his head on his on the end of the shovel, looks content, like starts thinking about it. I mean, the Bluecoats would have done the regular autopsy to check what did him in. However, the Spirit Wardens themselves would have done a preliminary check of any, signs of witchcraft before throwing him into the furnace.
That's good to know, thank you.
No problem. Can I get back to it? He just points to the hole he's been digging.
Oh, yes, of course. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you, by the way.
Likewise. And he just starts digging again.
All right, Eckert. See you later.
Doesn't respond. He's lost himself. He's lost himself in the mud.
He's my best friend.
Oh, good. Yeah, you seem to get on well.
I kind of want to
I'm
give.
happy for you.
I kind of want to give Cass stress or trauma for that, but I don't want to be too mean.
Oh no, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna just sigh with relief about the fact that we didn't have to look at a body.
Sorry, boss.
Oh, it's all right. I mean, maybe the Spirit Wardens, are they going to talk to us? Rodrigo, how?
Okay, you know this. I'm gonna give this to you for free. The Spirit Wardens are the, how do I say this? I want to call them the spiritual authority of Duskwall. They were founded by the Emperor himself. And their whole deal is officially taking care of ghosts and witchcraft, which sadly has given them a bit of a Knight Templar reputation. If you go to them and you ask them for a occult related problem and they smell witch on you, they're gonna put you to the stake. All right. An interesting thing about it, however, is that Spirit Warden, and this is not something you need to know. This is public knowledge. Spirit Warden membership is completely secret, and even out on the streets, the Spirit Wardens are always wearing a bronze featureless mask, right, to hide their identities, right? Like the Emperor himself made it so they're as incorruptible as possible, right? Of course, as far as you know. Also, Mike, to answer your question, yes. Penderin is a member of the City Council, which is probably the second most powerful faction in the city.
The Ghost Wardens
Spirit Wardens.
are the Spirit Wardens are as incorruptible as the setting would allow.
As far as you know, what I just said is
Yeah.
public knowledge.
So that's their reputation at the very least. So any autopsy they've done should be non-corrupted. So we could get
In
the
theory.
details from them because they wouldn't hide things.
Are you planning to go to them? I don't want to be burned as a witch.
That's the thing. They smell magic on you. That they're taking you in, man.
I've been burned before.
Ah, but have you been
They're
burned to
pretty.
death? I would imagine it's a far less
Oh
pleasant
no,
experience.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, I was in an enclosed, archives room as the flames were licking around me not very long ago. I'm not exactly confident about exposing myself to excess heat.
Well, let's not go there in person. Let's give them the opportunity to drop off a note. I do prefer this kind of
Oh,
interaction.
we've got a revolving door policy on note dropping.
Actually,
Why not?
if I may, there is another faction that is known for the occult that are on far more better terms than the
With
Spirit
us.
Wardens,
Yes,
and that's the Gondoliers.
Gondoliers. We could ask them. Maybe even see if there's anything they want from us for their help. Cass, you feel up to schmoozing?
I suppose so, but I don't see why they would know anything in particular about this.
They're generally experts on the occult. I mean, let's face
Do
it.
we know it's a cult?
Before the
I
spirit,
mean,
well, the symbol that we have had sent to us did seem like a warning of get off our trail. At which point, he picks
This
up
is-
the White Queen and shows you the bottom of it. So, if the gondoliers know about the flaming eye, then maybe they can put two and two together. They may even just tell us what the significance of taking one's eyes are. I know they're said to be the windows of the soul, but what else?
I mean, I'm just thinking of the obvious. Maybe this guy saw something he wasn't supposed to have seen and was blinded so that he couldn't identify the suspects.
And then just died of
You know,
his injuries.
It
Potentially.
doesn't have to be a cult.
No, and I guess calling ghost on everything is bad, but I don't know. I just like to leave no stone unturned until I find out who's knocking on our door, literally.
I'm happy to talk to them.
I mean, I'll come with you, but I
Alright.
think it's more your skill set.
We cut then to the main gondola like station. I want to like boat houses, right? So it's imagine where like most of the gondolas in the city, not the one. It's probably the one for your district. It's probably the one nearest to six towers. Canals run all across Dusk Bowl, right? So, you go there. You politely ask for an audience, all right? They grant it to you. You're on good terms with them. You actually like inadvertently helped them one time, and they're grateful.
Mhm.
I want to say you speak with the leader of the gondoliers, Isel. She is like a fairly old woman, graying hair, like swept back into a ponytail. Um, crow's eyes, but she has like a serene look about her, right? She kind of like if like you wouldn't tell that she has to deal with ghosts on a nightly basis, right? Um, she's sorting through some paperwork. They're technically part of like unofficial Duskfall guild, so she has to deal with that nonsense. But everything about the environment you're in speaks to you that these are not blue coats or spirit wardens. They're more down to earth people, whatever that means these days. Um, um, so yeah, she just says, yeah, how can we help? Like we didn't expect a visit from you anytime soon. You tend to keep to yourselves.
It's really good to see you. We've got ourselves into a bit of trouble.
Have you
And
now?
we wondered whether you might have some information so that we could alleviate ourselves of this trouble.
Well, let me guess. It's related to the God, I keep forgetting the name. This like the Selin Penderin murder. Don't ask me how I know. It's been on the newspapers for a while.
What is the significance of removing someone's eyes?
She shifts in her chair. I think it depends. There's many different followings of forgotten gods that put significance to the eyes. Um, um, Mm, I couldn't tell you, but it does definitely sound like an aspect of a ritual.
Ritual. I kind of look over at Jacob. Do you have the?
The symbol.
Yes.
I reach for what looks like a pocket handkerchief and just slip my hands behind it and fold it in the same shape as the piece of paper, and I hand it to Cass. I am on hand and nearby, but mostly I'm setting the back scene to help with Cass, just by looking like we are friends. We're chilled around the mall. I'm actually opening a tobacco pouch and offering pinches to some of the gondoliers who've come in from the night.
Some of them gracefully accept the nicotine.
Yeah. I hand it to Cass, almost as a kind of, of course, almost like I'm only half paying attention.
Right. Okay. So you hand over the drawing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She looks at it, takes this heavy sigh, grabs her own. It instead of rolled up tobacco, she has like actual like pre-rolled cigarettes, right? Grabs one, lights it up. Thinks, whose backyard did you shit in? Takes a drag from her cigarette. I can't let you know I do owe you that much. However, I'm going to ask for something in return, just to cover our own asses, if that's if,
Oh,
if
of
that's
course.
completely
Of
fair.
course.
Takes another drag. 2 payments. Information up front, coin later. How does that sound?
Perfectly reasonable.
I kind of look
Sounds
over
good.
my shoulder and just give my agreement.
Yeah, okay. All right, deal. That there is the official or unofficial logo, depending on who you ask, of the Circle of Flame.
Does that mean anything to me?
To you, sounds fancy. Um, if you're unaware, they're one of the current secret societies in vogue in the city at the moment, comprised mostly of nobility. Nobility. They say they're all about gathering knowledge and discovering the secrets from the past, but there's also just an excuse to flex their bottomless coffers and take it in vice, extortion, and graft. Um, don't know who the membership is. They're nobility and they're a secret society. They tend to keep to themselves pretty well. But I know when I see that symbol means trouble. So I ask again, in whose backyard did you shit in?
I turn and
As far
say,
as we
you already know, surely.
Reasonable. Flicks her cigarette. That's as far as I can
we're
tell
just
you.
starting out. We were just starting out. We were an easy target. They needed someone dead. We needed to take the fall.
I'd imagine, and she looks over at you, Jacob. But you know that the nobility are a petty sort. I don't think they would have just picked a random target to frame for murder. Regardless, that's my end of the bargain. I now need you to fulfill yours. We have we have been having trouble lately. Someone has been decided to have fun doing human experimentation in our canals. Obviously, they can pursue any hobby they want, but our issue is that they've been dumping the leftovers into our canals, and we've been having to deal with the aftermath. We have already, as we should, this guy is doing something illegal. This guy's obviously doing something illegal, but for some reason the spirit wardings are turning a blind eye to him. Um, even when we brought them up, they almost accused us of heresy, as they just couldn't find the boat. We then decided not to push our buttons further, so we left it at that. So we're going to have to go for extra legal means to take care of this problem, if you catch my meaning. So, is this something you can handle?
Extra legal means meaningless.
Okay.
What can we do for it?
Well, we need
Sorry, my
whatever.
internet's breaking.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, we need him to stop. To s- we need him to stop dumping his garbage into our lovely canals. I don't care if that's by burning his boat down, or by getting rid of whatever means he is keeping the spirit wardens off his tracks. I'll leave that up to you. I just wanted the problem to be taken care of.
Simple sabotage. Checkles will be delighted.
I'm glad to hear.
Obviously, I'm very happy, as I'm sure that Cass is very happy to help you. We are, after all, friends. And he picks out another pinch of this rough black shag, and passes it absent-mindedly to one of the guys who's kind of patting his pockets, looking for his tobacco. But a name and a suggestion of a ritual. I mean,
We don't know the guy's name. We only know that his boat.
oh no,
which
not
is
the fellow. We can sort that out. We can hunt him
Okay.
down, sabotage him. Not a problem. I mean,
Sure.
you gave us the name attached to the symbol, of which we are grateful, and that it could have been a ritual that we could have guessed. Eyes to the windows to the soul and all that. If you don't mind me being a little cheeky, this is going to bring more heat on us, what we're about to do for you, whereas you've had no danger whatsoever parting with our information. And I respect that. You're a businessman. You've given us something with low risk and then committed us to something with high risk. I would do the same. I'm asking you to give a little more, and yet it shouldn't risk you much at all. The ritual to do with the eyes. I'd like for you to look up, in return for this very hot favour we're about to do you, I want you to look up what the ritual would do. Then it gives us a better lead on either choosing to avoid them or pursue them.
She puts her feet up on the table, chuckles. Don't push your luck, Jacob Pride. Do remember that if you want to go through the canals, you have to go through us.
Indeed, I'm
Even the
not
blue-
asking for anything more than you to speak amongst your very varied and educated people. I can't pursue a name. You've told me that it's amongst the nobility. Fantastic. I can't really go around asking for that name. I can't look it up in the city directory. But just that one extra lead would be such a favour for us. And we will happily put our name on the streets again. We will happily get the bluecoats chasing us down again, although they should be fucking thanking us by the sounds of this. I'm just asking that you ask around. If you find nothing, you find nothing. I mean, that information in and of itself, that the ritual is so complex and so difficult that it's even beyond the scope of the gondoliers. Sure, that tells me something. But if it is
guys,
within your great capability...
I just need to ask a quick question. 2 or 3 dice.
Mike's saying too.
All right. Okay, that's a 2 and a 1.
I'm hoping she rolled then.
So far, we've been friendly. Don't push it. You'll get what's yours when we get what's ours.
Of course.
I want to keep this relationship amicable, if you understand.
As do we.
Look, we are the your friendly neighborhood Ghostbusters, but that doesn't mean we have access to vast libraries. So you're gonna have to cut us some slack.
It has been said that you're afraid of no ghost. So,
By the way, that's what I like to call a patience roll.
fair enough.
So, so yeah,
We thank you for your time.
and I thank you for yours. Now, if you excuse me, it's time for our routine patrol to see if anyone to take care of everyone's leftovers, and um, gets up, grabs an oar from the wall, and you know, and heads out into the night. So you got a job. We didn't cover that in roleplay, but I want to say, because of it, the payment. She's willing to offer. I want to say 3 coin for this job, right? It's because you're doing her a big favor, whether or not she's willing to admit it, and she's going to pay appropriately, right? So yeah. If you do complete it, it's the 3 coin, and hopefully, more information on what the fuck happened with God, I keep forgetting his name. To sell him Penderin.
Yep. If the viewers hadn't figured out, Cass was being the nice, friendly person. I wasn't playing the bad cop, but if there was going to be any kind of, oh, I don't like that person, I wanted it to be me, not Cass. So I was buying bridges before burning them. That's why I was giving up. That's why I was giving up the tobacco. I was like, if it comes to the point where something awkward has to be asked, I'll say it, and then Cass can still look like the good person, and even turn around and say Jacob. So.
And if you're going to build bridges out of something that's going to burn, it may as well be something that's nice to smell.
Oh,
Let me. I just want to be clear. You don't want to burn bridges with the gondoliers.
Very fond of the bridges of the gondoliers, even the low ones. They like them all.
They will kill you twice. Yeah.
I'll kill
Thanks
you.
for pushing
and
your
I'll
luck.
kill your ghost.
Second for that joke.
Yeah, but I'm also looking at some of their allies, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
We're their allies. In fact, they are our only allies. Believe me, I'm not gonna burn that.
I mean, the Foundation as well. You're a +3 with them. I just haven't figured out
Oh,
something
actually,
to do with them.
yeah.
Okay, so you got a job. You gotta have to deal with this mad scientist dumping bodies into the canals of the River Dusk. Checkers.
I do have a question.
Shoot.
Ask Kevin.
Ask Kevin.
We have a job right now, like a job offer, or this is our heist?
It's a job offer, but the way Kat and Simon role played it, I want to say this is your score, because it was a very straightforward quid pro quo. To not do it after that will probably put you in negative status with the gondoliers.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, Checkers. We're committed. You're gonna have to burn a boat.
all right, so you got your job, you got a target, sort of. What's the approach?
Back to the war room first.
I'm gonna
let's
wreck
all
it.
talk. I'm gonna wreck it.
Not yet, not yet, Checkers. Not yet.
Your enthusiasm is, of course, admirable, Checkers. But first of all, we need to find where the damn thing is. They did tell us to burn a specific boat, not just to find a boat and burn it, you understand. The gondoliers have boats. They're fond of boats. Don't just burn a random boat.
Mm.
Although the way you deliver that line, I'm starting to see a little bit of the inspiration for your character as Wreck-It Ralph.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, first of all, at least there's a breadcrumb trail of people going missing, more so than usual. People who would have been around the canals again, more so than usual. Surely we should be able to get something on the gossip line. Then a strange, out of place boats. Slate, do you think some of your fellows up high might have taken notice of somebody who was traveling in the wrong hours or something like that.
Who says it's a boat? Who says it's not just somebody coming up alongside of the canal and in the river?
Good point. I mean, the gondoliers seem to believe it was a boat.
Do you want to gather information? Any of you?
Yeah.
That's what we're leading up to.
So, you come back and tell us about what's going on. You find Slate at your chessboard. He has moved all the pieces, and it's clear that he has no idea what he's just done. And you find him with a couple of pieces in his hands, and he's got a tape measure, and he's taking the dimensions of each piece. And as you come back, he's holding the little pointy one, with the slot in it. And he's taken one of the pieces of paper and he's slotted that in. He goes, "Sorry, boss, what was it you needed?"
We're looking for somebody who's performing experiments on humans and then dumping the bodies in the river. Cass brought up a very good point. They may not be using a boat at all, but if that is true, then they'll have to have some other conveyance by which they'll be able to get there, take a body with all of its dripping trail up to the river. I would say a boat is still the highest probability. You can stash it as cargo on there, put a tarpaulin over the top, and nobody's any the wiser. But that's just...
Do we have locations that these dumpings have happened?
I'm presuming that we can get that from the gondoliers, Rodrigo?
This can be a gather information roll. Yeah, absolutely. Either the gondoliers told you, or it's research that you did, or your own speculation. I'm fine with whatever interpretation.
Okay.
But yeah, if someone wants to roll for it, go ahead.
Okay, that'll be myself.
Cool.
Any particular position or?
No, no position, no effect. The result will just tell indicate how many details I'll be able to tell you.
I got a 5.
Okay, 5. All right. So you survey. Okay. So
So I'm using the information that I can gather about the locations where it's happening, and I'm looking, that classic. I'm pegging out a radius of where the sites are and what connects them, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So even before you do your survey, you put together the pieces in your brain. You think, okay, this person is experimenting on corpses, all right? That's probably therefore they're gonna need a large influx of corpses. Therefore, right? You've been following that line of thought. And when it comes to corpses, there's only one place you're gonna go, and that's Crow's Foot. Crow's Foot has been embroiled in a very bloody gang war for a while now, and it has gathered a reputation for the most haunted district in the city. Right? People are dumping bodies left and right over there, right? Just from the sheer casualties of the feud between the Lampblacks and the Red Sashes. It also doesn't help that because Crow's Foot it's a crossroads. It's like a district in between 4 of some of the most transited and important districts, including Silk Shore, the docks, right? So if someone's gonna be doing the rounds for bodies, it's going to be there. So you take your leave, you find a rooftop overseeing the canals of Crow's Foot, and sure enough, you sit there for a few hours, just watching, being the gargoyle that you are, and you obviously there's the usual gondoliers, but taking how to say, transporting people around.
They're picking up fares and dropping people off.
Dropping people off. The occasional blue coat patrol, right? The very rare spear warding walking across the edges of the canals. Merchant boats, that type of thing. However, at some point something catches your eye, and that is a very sizable barge. All right. starts slowly rolling in front of your view. It stops for a moment. I want to say you're far enough and it's dark enough that you can't make out any details, right? But you see a very large barge. It stops. It has stopped for like I want to say between 2 and 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes may be too long, maybe 2 3 minutes, right? Before it slowly starts rolling down the river again. Um, that's weird. Like just without beating around the bush, that's fucking weird. So
Yeah, I mean, what kind of proportion do the gondoliers use? Is it literally,
okay, yeah, like it's literally gondolas. Even
yeah,
some of their bigger gondolas are probably meant for like a few like large groups, right? But it's never something too big. This feels like it's a boat that should be docked at the docks, right? Like
right.
this feels like something that should be out on like this should be like relatively speaking, it's still a small boat, but compared to the canals, it's practically enormous. Does that make
I
sense?
mean, the kind of size of berth, what kind of,
Um, that's a bad thing. I'm bad with visualizing sizes. So,
if I lay down alongside it, is it 2 or 3 lengths? I might,
it's big. It's no longer like a gondola. It's a boat. You like if you were laid down on like on top of it, there would still be like a lot more room, right? There would still be like
How many
yeah,
people could lay down end to end?
like five maybe
Okay, well, that's a
Okay.
fair size.
five,
That
five,
seems
six.
quite large. Okay.
Mhm.
And I've literally no idea what the proportion is, how it managed to just stop in a river
Mhm.
against the flow. I don't know what it was there for. I don't know what it did.
Yeah.
But this is my number one suspect. What sort of speed is it doing as it departs?
Sorry.
What sort of speed is it managing?
It's slow. It's like it's not going. Like it feels like whoever's piloting this thing is not in a hurry.
Right.
It's yeah.
I'm gonna follow it then.
Yeah, okay, you follow it for a few hours, and with that, I'm gonna cut to the others as,
Sure.
you know, everyone else is still, doing their gather information and or planning.
Okay. Um, for me, I'm going to be looking around, kind of looking at the gossip to find out if anybody um, has had a relative or a friend turn up in the river, and especially if it was anything that was particularly shocking, trying to see if I can at least pinpoint where some of the deaths occurred or some of the pickups occurred.
Right. Again, how are you gathering that information?
Um, being humble, amicable, respectable, usual Jacobs kind of thing of being lower class but polite,
Hmm.
and cultured, and
Go ahead then.
he's genuinely low rage at this point. There's nothing that really triggers him. In fact, he's concerned. There's a lot of people who are in pain. So he's not. What's the word? He's not heartless when it comes to stuff like this. So yeah, I'm assuming controlled because I'm just talking to people.
Yeah, this is not a this is ignore control in effect. Again, this is a gather information roll, so it's
Okay,
just
double three.
you talk with people, you ask around, you play the lowly, um, you feel the lowly, uh, commoner of the city. I mean, you don't have to play like you don't have to try hard enough. Sadly, the problem is that you are asking about Crowsfoot. So yeah, sooner or later, someone's relative, someone's nephew, son, even brother, shows up dead in the canals,
Yeah.
um, shot, stabbed, drowned, whatever. Right? It's it's way too common. So like it's like, yeah, it's you were trying to find a needle in a haystack, and you just found more haystack.
Yeah, I'm looking for straw in a haystack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so yeah, any more attempts? You got a location, sort of. You know it's traveling around Crowsfoot, all right? Um, Crowsfoot. Do you guys have an approach?
Does Crowsfoot have a main dockyard? If it's a boat that big, then presumably it's going to not be able to dock just anywhere on the canal.
I want to say, Crowsfoot. Let me see. I'm looking at the map right now to see. So with Crowsfoot, there is actually a um the main canal that runs through Crowsfoot. It's actually wide enough that there's a place called Tangletown, which is a sank, like a synced like partially synced Leviathan hunter ship, and those things are massive, right? That has been repurposed as sort of a shantytown of sorts, right? Um, they could probably stop there because it is Crowsfoot law, criminal law, not official law. That place is neutral ground for, it's for those who play Vampire it's Elysium. If you touch anyone in Tangletown, you get fucked. Um, Also, the docks are just right next to Crowsfoot, so there is a chance they just will dock their boat at the place where you're supposed to dock your boats. So, um,
What
yeah,
I'm wondering about is how they get the bodies into the dockyard and onto the boat without being seen. So I
that's a
think
good
I'd like to go and ask around. Maybe I'll start at the dockyard because it seems a bit safer. But if I don't find anything there, I'll move on to the.
Well, the docks and Crowsfoot are adjacent districts,
Yeah,
so it's definitely worth looking at the docks as a potential source or origin point. Maybe we'll know more when we come back to what my character's up to.
gotcha. Right. So yeah, I want to say, yeah. Do you want roll me do me a gather information roll then, to see if you can find out how they're getting the bodies, because Slate only managed to get vague details.
You'll have to remind me what I roll for that.
Do tell me, tell me how is Cass gathering this information?
I'm gonna go with study. So I'm going to spend a lot of time sitting in bars and just sipping my drink and listening to what's going on around me.
Sounds
If
good to me.
anyone tries to engage me, I'll be friendly, but I'm not particularly trying to start up a conversation.
You're
I'm
focusing on eavesdropping. Gotcha.
Exactly, yes.
That sounds good to me. Go ahead. Two. Yeah, okay, two. So, it's the usual Crowsfoot talk. It's usual, you decided to have a pint at the Leaky Bucket, which is like the primo place to be in Crowsfoot. It's the usual news about the gang war, people dealing with ghosts, rumors of something involving the crows, someone killed someone, right? But nothing relevant to your situation right now. All right. I'm gonna allow one more gather information roll before we start talking about approach, if that's okay.
I think Checkers is the only one who hasn't acted. So
Go ahead.
Awesome. I want to find out when and where it docks. Going with Jacob's initiative and information, I want to know where it docks, like this boat docks.
Okay. How are you gathering that information?
I am actually. I'm gonna survey.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
Yes.
Um, it's hard to find. Like, it's hard to gather um, about schedule before when it comes to like just by looking at it. All right. So yeah, you really don't get much. It moves around crow's foot. All right. So yeah, we're gonna be going to break soon. However, before we do that, I do want to do this. How are you approaching this? You gather information. You couldn't gather much, but you still have a relative location. You have a relative target.
I guess if we haven't got a specific place that we can do prior planning to, we go out with basically a wrecking kit. Maybe get our own boat and just start cold reading everybody that we pass. We scrutinize using our different abilities, and when we finally get our man, we let checkers loose on him.
This has been my favorite plan ever so
So that
far.
what are you gonna
and-
assault the boat? Is that what you're planning?
We're gonna hire a boat, and we're gonna go and cold read people as we go past. We're gonna peer in people's windows, talk to people. We're gonna go out ready with whatever wrecking crew equipment we need.
Isn't this like transport then? Because
No,
we need a
transport.
boat. Oh,
Trans-
no, yeah.
transport is like when you plan on like moving something from point A to point B,
This
and
is
the
sabotage.
detail. This is sabotage, yeah. But right now I need the approach on the.
assault.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Are you going for an assault?
I think
Yeah, because it's either assault because, but normally assault would be if we knew the location, then we would be able to determine a point of attack. If this also potentially could be deception, because the method of deception is us, passing ourselves off
Okay.
as a bunch of bargees, so that
Okay,
we can talk
so-
to people and look in through doors and windows and things like that.
Okay, so to determine this, I'm gonna ask you a very important question. To determine whether it's a deception or an assault. When you find the boat, are you going to jump on it, guns drawn, just shoot whoever's in it, or are you going to pretend to be like an inspection and get in, and get on it without any fuss?
I'll leave that to the vote. I mean, we've got a demolitionist and a hound here.
I do feel like if we don't let him loose soon, other things are going to explode that we don't want to explode. So
Assault it is then.
So anytime soon, then something's going to explode anyway.
Okay. Whoever's feeling lucky. By the way, check your load. I keep forgetting that, and I did forget
Yes,
this time.
Yes.
Yeah, check your load. And then whoever's feeling lucky, roll me 2d6.
I've been rolling like shit, so no.
Everyone's been rolling by like shit, so don't worry about it.
I think I've done this roll almost every other time, so I'm going to step back and let somebody else do it this time.
I'm going to go for a normal load and go on. I'll do the 2d6.
2d6.
What-
I've been
what is the
so
load?
lucky so far.
You choose how much you choose how much items you want to bring. Oh boy, you're in a desperate position when the action starts. So, no, that's a
A 6
6.
and a 4.
6 and a 4. Okay, so this is the last thing I'm gonna say before we go to break. You are vigilant. You ask the gondoliers for a boat. They absolutely let you have one of theirs, right? No problem. I think they even just give you because they assume you don't know how to how to so they actually give you a gondolier just to transport you, and you sit and watch. You're there for a few hours when the boat, like clockwork, shows up. Right, it's hard to miss. Before you do, and once you have confirmation, that's the boat, that's the one. You jump in. You immediately. I imagine that you grab some rope with some clawed ends, right? throw it onto the boat.
Grapple,
Pull
yeah.
yourselves towards it. Yeah. Climb up. Draw your pistols, and it's completely empty. And with that, we'll see you in 10 minutes.
Okay. See you then.
See ya.
And we're back.
Welcome back, everyone. So when we left off, we found out that the boat was empty and the call was coming from inside the house. So, anyways, so yeah, when you stepped on the boat, guns ready, blades drawn, it's empty. It's completely empty. However, as you step on the boat, it's winter, right?
Sure.
But winter doesn't feel this cold.
Oh my gosh!
We
it
found the
doesn't fe-
fridge.
You found the fridge.
A ghost ship.
Literally. You don't hear them, and obviously, you can tell that they haven't noticed you either. But even without without an expertise in the supernatural and the unquiet dead, there's quite a few of them here. This is no straggler. They're I'm not gonna give an exact number, but I'm gonna say they're around probably 5.
5 dead bodies? Or 5 ghosts? Oh god. Okay, suddenly very, very happy that I've got this.
They haven't noticed you yet. Somehow you are wait. You guys are starting in a control position. So they haven't noticed you yet. You don't see them. They haven't made themselves corporeal yet, but if they had noticed you, you would have known. So what do you do now? Slate, by the way, quick question. Are you in the boat with them or are you in a nearby rooftop?
So I've been following the boat
Okay.
on its journey, and I've been running ahead of it, camping in a position,
Okay.
waiting for it to pass, and then running ahead of it, camping in a position, basically leaving little round dots where my intense body heat has dried the slates beneath me, and then going to the next one, sort of like almost like semaphore, not semaphore, almost like
Morse code.
Morse code dots across the ceilings as we've moved along. The what would I have seen whilst I've been following it? What information has that
Okay.
given me? Or do you want to
let's-
hold that? Now that you know
Uh,
I'm not in the boat, do you want to hold that and bring it in when it's important?
I'm gonna give you that information. I'm gonna make a. Can you do me a retroactive gather information roll, please?
The role that I made before
Survey.
was
I will
for
allow.
this,
Yeah, that sounds good again. Yeah.
and we just cut away before I got the information.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so I think that was a 5. Let me just check that there wasn't another one since. Yeah, that was it.
Okay, you've been seeing. You haven't spotted anyone on the boat. Like this matches up with what you've seen. But something you have been seeing is every now and then it stops. Oh yeah, Simon. The frames are. Everyone's in the wrong place.
Are they? Oh. Oh yes, yes. Because yep. Somebody during break, somebody came out and went back in again. I will sort it for you now.
Okay, so while Simon does that, this has been lining up with what you've seen. It's empty. You've seen it empty. You haven't seen anyone come out of. You did notice that there's like those double doors that lead to like a basement, right? You haven't seen anyone come out of those. But something you've been noticing is that nets every now and then come up and literally go fishing for corpses, right?
That I love. So the dead bodies aren't coming from Crow's Foot, was it? They're
Yeah, it's
coming from
like
the
there are
dredges.
bodies from Crow's Foot, but it's not like they're looking for select bodies. They're just literally coming along, dropping nets, picking them
Yeah.
up, and whatever they pick up, they just brings
So
into the hull.
This vessel is dredging the canals and rivers
4
for
bodies.
dead bodies, and there are plenty down there. And that's where so we can go home. Job's done, guys. They aren't polluting the river.
They're performing a
They're
vital
just-
public
They're
service.
just recycling it.
Ghosts
'cause
taking
they're
back
putting it back
bodies.
out.
I mean, that's
Okay.
that's kind of
Who would say
Karma
ghosts
neutral,
are
really, isn't it?
so
The-
green
okay,
conscientious?
I will say, like you when you've been spotting it, yeah, you've been seeing something being dumped into the river. So yeah,
Yeah,
um,
okay. Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay,
And
so I get that. So they've been gathering from the slurry at the base of the river, on the riverbed,
and whatever is
and
on
they do-
on the shore,
and then-
yeah.
and then doing something to the bodies, and then dumping whatever is left over back into the water.
Yeah.
Interesting.
and
Okay.
to us,
and
the
then-
ghosts are doing this. Yeah.
I mean,
this is
they're
it.
ghosts.
To my knowledge, I've not seen anybody coming in or going out. I've seen nobody on the deck, and you guys clamber out of the gondola you're on onto the deck itself, and I'm probably stood on a rooftop nearby, which I have no idea of, and I'm like doing mad, frantic semaphore signals to the sea. Everything
so
that I
let-
do know.
I
God.
think he's saying blow it up.
So going back to the crew on top of the on the deck of the boat, it's cold. There's ghosts around. What do you do?
I would like you first to give us a little bit of lore, because one of the things that doesn't add to my load is my Spirit Bane charm. What does
Nope.
that
If
do?
it's okay, give me a moment. It's actually under in Roll20. I put it into standard items and vice purveyors. It should be there.
Oh.
I'm gonna read it for you if I can find it. Should be there. Large weapon, armor, burglar gear, cocaine. Huh. Oh, there we go. Spirit Bane charm. A small arcane trinket that ghosts prefer to avoid.
Okay.
And it's because it's written in italics, it's a free item. It won't count for your load.
Perfect.
So if all of you wants to have your Spirit Bane charms out, now's the time to tick that off.
I am. Will spirit.
Spirit Bane charm.
Can't find it.
It should be in the grey items at the top, if you have it. I don't think everybody has it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a note of that. Although I'm still
And I've
gonna.
got my concealed palm pistol in hand, and I've just realised how useless that is.
Yeah, apparently, Checkers doesn't have a Spirit Bane charm. Interesting.
Wrong man
So-
for the job. Let me tell you that.
Okay, you didn't know there were gonna be ghosts, so no one can fault you. Anyways, yeah, what are you doing? Still on the boat? You still haven't made your move. What's going on?
I'm going to whisper to the other two. I know they're here. I know you know they're here. But we still
Hey.
have a job to do. We knew that dead bodies were going to be involved. Just stay quiet. Stay calm. Let's find out what's going on here.
What are we talking about?
Does it sound like all of you are gonna stealth as a group?
I will go up to Checkers and, with my lips set at millimeters away from his ear, explain in very small words that we're on a ghost ship.
Ghosts!
Do you actually do that?
No,
I would like to roll
no.
whatever
Okay.
passes for. Okay, if he
so-
was going to do it, I was going to roll for whatever passes for initiative to get my hand on his gob. But yeah,
Okay, so something you can do now, and this is one of my favorite mechanics in the whole game. Something you can do is you can lead a group action. So in this example, if let's say you all want to sneak past the ghosts, right? In D&D, what something you would do is that everyone would roll stealth, right? And then depending on how everyone like rolls, usually someone fucks it up, right? Lead a group action is really interesting. Someone decides they're going to lead the action, right? Then everyone involved in the action rolls whatever they're going to be rolled. Let's, in this case, prowl because stealth, right? the best single roll out of the group is the result for the whole group. However,
Okay.
every failure gives stress to the leader of the group action.
Okay. Okay.
So if you guys want to stealth, like sneak past these ghosts as a group, you can totally do it as a group action.
I have a feeling that
I
our
love
prowl
how-
bunny is the one on the rooftop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love how the one person we need is the one person who's not here.
I thought that would make things a bit different. I'm going to do my sniping for once.
So yeah, what do you guys do? You're still on the boat. You still haven't moved. What are you doing?
Well, we either leave or we try the stealth. Am I right in believing that we all have prowl 0?
No.
Okay. Just me then. The one suggesting
Yeah.
the stealth has no stealth.
This was an assault. This
I've
was an
won.
assault. Just
I've won
continue
in
with the
prowl.
assault.
That was the approach.
Hey,
Okay, it is an
I-
assault. I mean,
Yeah.
okay.
I still have whatever liquid ectoplasmic nonsense I gave to Slate last time.
You Slate, electroplasmic ammunition is totally an item that you have on your character sheet.
Okay.
Oh yes, yes, and from up here I will be using it
Gotcha.
as soon as you show me the ghost.
If this is an assault, let's do an assault. I mean, I feel like we're doing the gondolier's job for them here. Okay. Assault it is, because
In the
let's
end-
face it, we're crap at the other one.
I will
Attack.
though. Yeah. Continue.
Okay, I was going to say attack the boat, not the ghosts.
All right.
Totally go. Okay.
Let me
Yeah.
guess, checkers, you're gonna wreck it.
Yes, but actually, I come up to them and say, okay, so I've done this before in the war, right? And I don't know if you've been into a naval battle before, but explosions do tend to unsteady the waters quite a bit. So you guys might have to let that guy go, or go in the boat with him. I'll go swimming, because this can be dangerous for all of us in the vicinity of the boat, even though if you're not in the boat.
So what about
Itself.
you?
I have to plant the bombs. I'm okay. It's not my first rodeo.
Rodrigo, current course of the boat.
Right now it has stopped, but it seems like it's doing the same rounds again around Crowsfoot like it has always done.
If it was to blow up now, what collateral damage would there be?
If it were to blow up now, collateral damage. Give me a moment. That's a very good question.
I just don't want to get another faction pissed off at me. I mean, the Bluecoats
Okay.
is a given, let's face it, but
Give me a moment. I'm gonna read the description of Crowsfoot for this. There we go. Streets, multi-level, cramped, dark, foggy. I'm gonna say there's probably gonna be some collateral damage because the way Crowsfoot is described is its streets and buildings are described as multi-level, cramped, dark, foggy. Flop houses, inns, all manners, chopped into apartments, traditional stone houses, smiths, tavern, brothels, and butchers. Also, Cat, your camera
yeah,
went off.
Cats I think's deliberately switched off there.
Okay.
On that note, I will blow it up, and don't think I won't. But there's gonna be a lot of foundations for these houses they're gonna be damaged.
Which is
And
why I was asking.
This is just sober checkers talking about the do we want to check the boat before we blow it?
I was thinking that I would set its course to a slightly more favourable trajectory before we blow it.
And can I just ask a moment of flavor?
Yes.
Because having been in this city before as a different character, I might know something about the water that might want to be raised.
Go
Could I
ahead.
just check with you? What's
sure.
in the water?
So, the water in Blaze in the Dark is weird, but the one that's particularly weird is seawater, right?
Okay, thank you.
There's a reason the sea in the Shattered Isles is known as the Void Sea, right? The I want to say like the river is completely dark, but I want to say it's normal water. I'm gonna check that like tidbit in a bit, but as far as I know, the only weird thing about the water is in the ocean.
Okay, all right, thank you. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember, but I was concerned before we all take a dip that we are aware if there's anything underneath us that might try to get us.
Okay. Final question from me, Rodrigo, before I
Shoot.
decide what Jacob's contribution is going to be.
Shoot.
I can have a spirit bottle. Is that what I think it is?
Could be. I mean,
As in, I can draw a spirit, a ghost, into that bottle and capture it.
Pokemon.
okay. I'm gonna answer the question by setting a position and effect. It's desperate and it's gonna have a limited effect. You're not a whisper,
I know.
but you can try.
I got to do at least one desperate roll at some point. I would probably do it when he blows the boat. If I'm going to do it at all, I would do it when he blows the boat, hoping that their anchor is going down, and he would just try to pull one from the anchor. But I'm willing to do a desperate later on, so I will do that.
We'll
later
see.
on, if
We'll
I
do
get the
that
opportunity.
if it comes up.
Okay.
Okay. So right. So yeah, you have this whole time you've been stood on the boat. Nothing has changed. The ghosts are still doing their thing, you know. You have your conversations. What do you do?
First, I want to try
Mhm.
to tie up the if I have ectoplasmic ammunition at all, just tie it up to the explosives that I'm gonna put there, just in case any ghost do catch me in the act of planting the bombs or anything. I can have like a plan B kind of situation.
You have I'm looking at your character sheet right now. You have demolition tools, so you can mark that off to
Okay.
and mark that off to like because obviously.
Mm-hmm.
However, for the ectoplasm or like electroplasm and all that, you're probably gonna have to do a flashback to see if you can gain that because that's not on your character sheet. So
Or
you're probably
you
gonna
can-
have to.
Well, either that or one of us who has the arcane implements blows that and gives it to you.
I have arcane implements as well.
Okay, so
Yeah.
mark them off.
Okay.
Yeah. So are you gonna plant the bomb?
Yeah, I'm going to plant the bombs. Okay, so the way I'm imagining it is that we approach and there's still like we're below we haven't climbed up yet, or have we
Right.
climbed?
You haven't. You're still on the deck on the front of the boat. I don't know my boating terms, so
You're on the
Um,
prow.
you're on the prow. All right.
Because if and this is why I'm asking this. I think as a demolition expert, I would probably plant those bombs on the bottom.
That's true. You haven't
Yeah.
gone there yet. I did mention that there are some basement doors leading down into the boat. That Slate saw them being opened. Like no, yeah, Slate saw them, but he saw no one coming out of them or going into them. So,
Okay. Boss, Master Jacob, Is that my cue?
I would like to get onto the onto the gondolier,
yeah.
and have a quiet conversation with the person we've been given to ferry us about, and kind of ask, what do you know about ghosts? Are you any good with this kind of thing?
He tells you the usual, you know. Most of them are angry. Most of them are get reduced to base instincts. They just want to sap on life force to keep themselves afloat, for lack of a better term. He tells you that ghosts that tend to, you can see ghosts that are either like more, their appearance is more clear, more defined, and there's some ghosts that can only be defined as a blur. Ghosts that look like a blur are kind of the most dangerous ones because they've been ghosts for so long, they have kind of lost themselves, and they are more base, more feral as a result. All of this is more public knowledge, right? He's just yeah.
If we blow up this ship, the ghosts are going to be absolutely fine, yes?
Depends on how you blow it up, and it also depends on whether or not whoever made this fucking thing has bound them to it.
Thank you. Jacob,
It's not.
coming?
I've just hung on that last phrase. These ghosts are bound to the ship. I think that's going to change maybe what I do.
Okay.
I'm not a whisper, but I'm a spider. We put a finger in every pie. If blowing the boat up doesn't free the spirits, then instead of capturing a spirit, I might be using a different arcane implement to untether them.
Okay. You still
Okay.
haven't moved from the prow though, so
I'm going to move from the prow. Are there many ghosts? Can I see evidence of ghosts at the stern? Where I presume the rudder or wheel is.
when you go to the stern, it gets a lot colder.
So I can assume that going to where the ship is being steered is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Do I think I can steer it in other ways? Like, for example, if they have a mooring rope, I can get it to force a turn by doing an anchor turn for those who play Sea of Thieves. So do I think any of those options are available to me?
Sounds risky to me.
Only risky. Oh dear.
Okay, so I'm asking for an action roll, right?
Well,
I want to say.
I want to know. Well, okay, you've already answered my question. I was about to say I want to know how risky it is, and you said it's risky.
No. However, I did say because you haven't used your engagement roll position yet. You did start in a control position.
Mhm.
It's just you haven't done anything so far.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna keep that. You're in a control position. However, it's risky enough that if you were to roll badly, you're gonna blow that control position away.
I think that was always on the cards. We're using explosives in the middle of some water. The fact we started off controlled, I consider it to be a plus point. Okay,
Controlled.
so if
Standard.
Checkers is going to blow the ship still, blow the boat still, I think grabbing one of the ropes at the prow, jumping back on the gondolier, maybe using that as a stepping stone to find a mooring point, so that I can tie it off. It goes round to where I want it to go. So I'm trying to steer the vehicle by any means that I find safer. Let's face it, there's no safe here, just safer. And then once it's in position, Checkers can blow it with the minimal amount of collateral damage. Jacob's trying to go for professionalism here. And he realizes that he's trying professionalism with an armed and loaded Checkers.
Simon, I'm not giving this one to you for free.
Oh God, no! I would never expect it.
Roll them dice.
Okay. Steer a vehicle is finesse. Yes, I've only got one. But
I can. I will. Whatever you think fits the situation most. You decide the skill here, not me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Control position, standard effect.
And I am gonna push myself with 2 stress.
Extra die.
Yep, I'm gonna need it. So finesse, risky.
What would
Oh
a
no,
devil's
sorry,
bargain
controlled,
look
but
like?
there's a problem if it does go wrong. Did you say limited or standard here?
Standard.
Standard. Okay.
Control standard.
Controlled standard.
Good as it gets.
1 bonus dice because I took 2 stress.
Sounds about good, right?
Let's go.
A
Okay,
5.
okay.
So you do it,
Yeah,
but there is a
I'm-
consequence.
I'm happy with that.
Okay, so carefully, surgically, careful and gentle as you can, you try steering the wheel. Right?
That's not the wheel. I'm using a rope.
Right. You
I can't get to the.
try.
I can't get to the wheel.
Right. You try steering the boat. Right. How do I? I'm gonna say you take harm.
Sure.
Actually, no. It's a control position. You falter, press on by seeking a risky opportunity, or withdraw and try to different. Okay. I'm gonna say, you start. Yeah, you do it. You start steering the boat in the direction you want, but you're just one dude. This is a huge boat, right? Plus the groaning, like the strain and the groaning you've been putting into it, it's starting to catch attention. You can try again later at a risky position.
Okay, so I failed.
Now, again, it's the weird thing because oh, I read the wrong bit. Sorry, I read 1-3 instead of 4-5. My bad. Yeah, it says you hesitate, withdraw, and try a different approach, or else do it with a minor consequence. A minor complication occurs. You have a reduced effect. You start for lesser harm. You end up in a risky position. I'm gonna say it went down to limited effect instead. If that sounds okay.
So it's
Yeah.
not moving enough. Cool. Okay.
It's not moving enough. Yeah, my bad. That was a mistake on my end. Okay, so what is everyone else doing? Jacob is trying to steer a boat.
I'm trying. I'm gonna go ahead and start my wreck roll.
Okay. I'm gonna say this is risky. Standard effect.
All right, and I'm going to push myself, so that's gonna be
Push.
1 stress, right?
Also, to make up for my previous indiscretions, I'm gonna use my foresight and assist him.
Okay. How do you
the,
assist him?
The flashback is we go to the boatyard. We have a nice little wander on the boatyard, and I kind of go, "Do you see that bit there? That I'm sure that part's structural. Do you see where he's and we actually watch a boat being built. It's almost like taking the kid out for an educational day out.
You're taking him to a museum.
Yeah, it's like if he's good, he gets sweets on the way back. And
Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin, he took you to Fernandez Sal.
Yep.
That's just a joke for the two of us, but yeah.
Okay.
It's
And
a
that
train
is how I
museum.
assist. And
Train
I'm going to
museum.
knock off one of my foresights.
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome.
So you get an extra die, checkers. You get an extra die. You can still push yourself, take 2 stress for an extra die, or you can take a devil's bargain. And I'm racking my brain on what a good devil's bargain would be here.
Oh, the ghosts see me, or they notice what's happening. I'm still pushing myself though.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna offer a devil's bargain. I can't think of one, a good one right now. So yeah,
Right.
just go ahead.
What's my position?
Risky.
All right.
The ghosts are stirring.
Okay. Standard effect, right? Actually, no, I'm woozy.
Oh, you're woozy, so it will be limited effect. That's true. You can, instead of using the stress to get an extra die, you can use the stress to push it up. So you can push
Okay.
it back to standard, but
I'm
you'll
gonna
lose the
push
die.
it- I'm gonna push it back to standard.
Okay,
You
I'm gonna.
want it to blow if you succeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't get any more extra die, but the effect will be now standard.
Well, I do get Simon's. Well,
But you do get
Jacob's.
Simon's
Oh,
bonus.
yeah,
Yeah,
you got mine.
Jacob's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
That's atrocious. That's a 4 though.
Yeah, almost didn't make it.
For harm, provocation occurs. Have a reduced effect in every desperate position. Checkers. You put the bomb down. Like you move to a part of the boat you think it's structurally weak. All right. You start tying up the wires,
Yeah,
putting in the fuse.
I wanted to go inside and put it
Okay.
like from
Okay,
from
so
the
you go
bottom
inside.
down.
I'm gonna cover the description of in the inside later. Then I'm gonna cover
Okay.
the consequence first. Okay, so you go inside. Haphazardly, you just open the doors, go down. You're not looking at the furniture or anything. It's just you're looking for pressure points, structure, or weaknesses. You go ahead. You put your bomb. You start doing what you've always done. Tie a wire here, cross it there, put a fuse here, right? And you're done. And you're done, and you are about to set a timer. When right next to your ear, you hear. Right next to your ear. Yeah. You again, as it is with all ghosts encounters, you freeze, you flee, or if you don't want either of those choices, you can try resisting.
What happens if I freeze?
The ghost, you freeze in place, and you can't move out of fear, and whatever the ghost wants to do at that point, honestly.
So why wouldn't I pick the other two though? Like, wait. Let's okay. Can you repeat? It's freeze, flee, or
You can resist to do something else
Resist?
of your choice.
okay. I will try to resist.
So you're
Um,
gonna resist with your resolve. So that's gonna be on your character sheet. You're gonna click on resolve. Oh god. I just saw your stats. So, okay. Wow, 4-4. That's actually pretty good. So you take 6 stress minus 4. So you take 2 stress from resisting the ghost's influence. That's actually
Awesome.
you actually came out pretty well.
You did.
Yeah. Be gone.
So what do you do? Like you managed to get
Okay.
control of your faculties. What now?
Okay, I managed to take control, and I want to yell, "I'm sorry," and I'm doing this for both of y'all's well-being. So I yell at the top of my lungs, "What's going on?" No, I yell at the top of my lungs, "Leave the boat now! I'm gonna detonate it. This is the moment. This is the signal." So
Are you not gonna check the room first?
I mean, yes, but it's gonna take time until they get to a safe position because blowing up things in water, it's worse than blowing things up in the ground.
Fair enough. Okay. Everyone else. So what's up? Like you just heal Checkers, yeah, get the fuck out. I'm blowing up this boat.
Did we?
I'm on the gondola waiting for Jacob.
Yeah, you can see I'm there, and I'm straining to get this rope around what is just a normal mooring point, a normal berthing moor, which is just a giant log that's been set into the side of the canal, and I'm there straining. Going, it's not turning enough. Did he just scream on the boat?
He sure did.
Get off! Come here! Here, now!
I'll leap onto the gondola, and I'm going to wait with trepidation to see if Checkers gets off the fucking boat.
Okay. Slate, how is the show looking from your vantage point?
Watching, I've got my spyglass out, and I am aghast at the circumstances. They've let Checkers enter the boat on his own. That's just not going to go well. I can see that Pride's trying to turn the ship around, and so I switch from the spyglass to the scope, and I take aim, um, probably just with the heaviest load I can actually carry in the rifle. I am going to take a shot at the tiller and try and mess that so that there's less resistance for whatever it is he's trying to steer. Because if he's
Okay.
left the rope tied, it'll still twist the boat in the direction you want it to go.
Okay. That sounds like an action roll to me. I'm gonna count
Yep.
that as a setup action. So you're gonna roll for this, and if you succeed, whoever takes advantage of what you just did is gonna get +1 effect or improve position.
Nice.
Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. So what are you rolling? It's risky standard.
Let me look. It's got to be an attack with precision, shooting from a distance. That's
Sounds like hunt to me. Yeah.
And you say it's risky or desperate?
Risky.
Risky. Standard effect.
Standard effect.
1 second. I'm going back into that in a second. I can expend special armor. How do I get?
On your you may spend your special armor to resist the consequence of surprise, mental harm, fear, confusion, losing track of someone, or to push yourself for ranged combat or tracking. Okay,
I think
so
we're
on
going to
your
go for that
character,
then.
on your character sheet, there's something that says special armor. You take that off, and you get an extra die without taking the stress.
On my character sheet, there's something that says special
it's
armor.
next
Is that
to
in?
your stress. It's at the end of your stress.
Do you see it?
Armor special? See it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, found it. So I tick that. So I'm going to get an additional dice
Yeah.
on my hunt roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's a shame.
Oh my god.
I mean, I fail clearly.
Clearly.
The,
Okay, let's read what the reference sheet I have here says. Things go badly. You suffer harm. A complication occurs. You end up in a desperate position. You lose this opportunity. What do you guys think? Checker.
I mean,
Any harm that that would have done, not maybe not harm or stress or trauma, but it would have reflected on Checkers because he's on the boat, right?
yeah.
I mean, he was trying to shoot.
It's that, or I'm trying to shoot out the tiller at the back, and instead of
Yeah.
actually succeeding, I make it worse.
Yeah, like the bullet goes in there and literally jams the tiller, so it cannot go into the right. It cannot be steered now.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
I always imagine this is a detail I left out because I wasn't sure, but I always imagine to this be an industrial boat. Like this is not something you row. This is something that's powered by something, right?
Yes.
You shoot your shot, and you hit the boat, but you don't hit what you wanted to hit. And suddenly, Checkers, your feet feel wet. Something's leaking. Something flammable.
Oh.
All right.
I'm going to start a clock. I haven't done that all
When you
session.
said leaking, I was like, okay, sink the boat. We don't care, but something flammable. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smells
Got to be honest.
familiar.
What? Okay, I'm gonna go with bad clock here.
It's a back clock for fucking sure.
Okay, how many segments and how many are crossed off?
I'm gonna make it a four segment clock.
Mhm.
I'm gonna name it boat catches fire,
Okay.
and I'm going to have it, if you guys don't mind, at 2 already.
I mean, whether we mind or not is redundant, I think, at this point. Let's bring up that clock.
I do mind, but I have no choice.
All right, so Slate, yeah, you fire, and from your position, okay, you hit the boat, but the thing you wanted to hear, you're expecting a snap, right? Like of rope breaking and snapping too, but you don't hear that. And then you go, uh-oh.
I
Oh,
can see
no.
it bubbling. I can see something
Oh.
bubbling. I can see
Yes.
something gurgling. And I'm like, oh. Well, at least 2 of the 3 people are off the boat.
So I want to grab whatever I see. Can you explain what the interior looks like?
Okay, so
please,
I'm
before
gonna explain the interior. Yeah, I wanted to do this. The interior, you go down to the interior and you spot looks like an office, right? There's a chair. There is a fancy wooden desk, a quill, an inkwell, bunch of papers. There's
Stationary.
to the two there's on both walls there's like bookshelves filled to the brim with books. You don't know if they're actual reading material or pretentious reading material. You're going for the former, considering the secluded nature of this place. All right. However, some things do catch your eye. You spot something glimmering on like when you did all your on your quick, making a bomb, right? You notice that underneath the desk there you caught like a small glimmer of bronze, right?
This is embalming fluid, isn't it?
Not necessarily. Do you want to check what it is? Although you
I'm-
remember there's still a ghost around here.
I'm going and I'm telling go shut the fuck up, man. And I just go to the documents and just scramble them around. I can't read. I put them in my bag. I'm checking what the hell it is. I don't know. I'm
absolutely loving
what-
the fact that the illiterate mechanic is the only one in the area with all those papers and books.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
This entire score has literally been a case of the wrong person at the wrong place.
Yep.
Maybe if I talk to the ghosts and ask them nicely, they'll go away.
Yeah.
That's not in keeping with the theme
Wait,
tonight. You need to be
actually-
talking to the water.
Who amongst us is the right person for the job, though?
Apparently no one.
Yeah. Okay, so what do I see, by the way?
On the papers.
No, I can't read the papers.
Okay, imagine.
of the-
Okay, I'm gonna give you this free. You literally flip the fucking desk.
But I wanted to grab the papers, put it in my bag, and I wanted to see what was glimmering on the bronze.
Yeah. So I'm like for flavor, I'm gonna say Checkers flips the fucking desk. This
Yeah.
place is about to blow. Fuck it. And you spot underneath the desk. You were right. It was bronze, specifically a bronze mask, pummeled, and in the center of a chalk circle with a lot of symbols around it.
We're such idiots. They're not tied to the boat, they're tied to this.
Yeah, destroying the boat doesn't matter.
Not knowing any better, I'll grab the mask. I'll just ask Master Jacob if he knows. Rabbit.
Thing
Oh,
is,
Simon, please tell me how chat is reacting to this. I don't have chat open. Please tell me.
chat isn't reacting at the moment, but I can see that Hermit is in there at the moment, and all I can imagine is Hermit just going, yeah, standard. It's chaotic neutral. This is standard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just check? So you described a bronze mask that's
Bronze
basically
mask.
been, what is it? It's been pummeled out of a piece of
Yeah,
metal, or it
it's
was a
like-
mask that's been pummeled.
Yeah, it's a mask that's been pummeled. Like you see, like it's this dent, like someone's been hammering it, right?
Right.
And it was in the middle of a chalk circle with a bunch of like
Okay.
chemical symbols around it.
Is this the kind of mask that the
Arcane runes,
Oh.
whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we're
is
about
this
to blow
the
up the
kind of mask
boat
Spirit
and then
Wardens
take the
were?
thing that was the problem which wasn't the boat, out of the boat and hand it to another member of the party.
Is the
Well,
bronze mask that of the Spirit Wardens?
oh,
Rodrigo,
I would,
Mike,
I would.
Mike, give me a moment. I'm going to DM you something.
Okay. I mean, I don't know this because I'm not there, but as a viewer at home watching the show,
Yeah, I am going to DM you. Give me a moment.
I mean, to be fair, Hermit, we're about to have the fireball. I mean, it isn't Scorn that's doing it this time. It's Kev, but the fireball's coming.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, I run out and Jack Sparrow style, I got the thing, and I'm gonna jump out, swim the other way towards shore, not the gondola, shore. And I suppose I have there's a timer of sorts.
Yeah, roll me however dice you have in Tinker. Just a straight roll, no position, no nothing, no bonus dice. Just want a straight roll.
And as this happens, I do turn to Cass and go, what does he have? And there's this huge sigh.
He didn't. He wouldn't have.
So
No.
checkers. You throw yourself out of the boat. You go to shore, and then you start going. Okay, 10, 9, boom.
Brigada, I don't know how to count. I can't read the clocks. Ah!
I love the fact that he doesn't think he's fucked up the Tinker. He thinks he's fucked up the counting.
The boat goes up in flames.
Oh, well, I guess this
And
clock can
it's-
go. Ugh.
Deep blue fire that starts it's a blue pillar of flame, and the smoke just starts rising into the sky. You don't hear the bell, but of course, this is the dusk in the most crime-ridden area of the city. The bluecoats are gonna be on your asses pronto, so I'm gonna
Okay.
start another clock.
Nice.
Oh, God, here we
I'm
go.
just gonna repurpose the old one.
Yep.
I'm just gonna rename the old one.
I-
If that's okay. I'm going to put it. The bluecoats arrived, and I'm going to put it at 3
Rodrigo,
out of 4.
I will DM you something real quick.
Okay. I'm going to bring that clock back up. And Rodrigo, seeing as this is happening, go on, let's do it. I am going to do that desperate roll we talked about. And you said
Are
three.
you gonna capture a ghost?
You said three out of 4. Yeah.
It's 3 out of 4. The
Sure.
bluecoats are going to be here very soon.
AKA the fuzz. I put the fuzz arrive. And because bluecoats is a little too long for that frame. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I want to know what's been going on here. I mean, I kind of want to offer the gondoliers something extra that they didn't ask for, because that has a price. Damn it, I'm gonna get something out of this. So I will knock off on my arcane implements, spirit bottle.
Okay.
Now, spiders have to be jack of all trades. They gather all sorts of information to be able to bring all the information together and make the master plan. And so he has spent a tiny amount of time with the Whispers. Frankly, it freaked him the fuck out, and he didn't really want to do it that much. So I'm going to do an attune roll, pulling out a spirit bottle, going, here goes nothing. I open up the bottle and I start incanting for one of the spirits. I'm not choosing which. As you say, it's desperate. I have to push myself because I've got attune 0. So I'm going to push myself to
Desperate.
bring it to 1.
Limited.
Sure. Yeah.
Mark that XP.
Oh, yeah.
And now let me think of a devil's bargain. Because This could get interesting.
Okay, I'm down. I know I'm doing something risky. Devil's bargain. I mean, I play Deadlands. I know what happens when you do magic. You play poker with the devil. Let's go for it. What's your devil's bargain?
Whatever ghost you get, no matter whether or not it gets into the bottle, it's going to haunt you, and you specifically, no matter where you go.
Done.
Take your extra die.
Let me make sure the frame is on the right one. Let's do this. Oh, jeez. Oh. Oh. So,
You're making a new friend.
yeah,
You're making a new friend.
I have a friend.
So that consequences goes off regardless, but now I need to come up with one for this. It's the worst outcome. Oh, would you look at that? Okay. Simon, I want you to resist with resolve.
Whoever says who dares wins was an idiot. Come on, be good to me.
Who Dares has a story to tell at the end of their game.
Yeah. Okay.
And breathe.
Jacob Pride, you are lucky, one lucky son of a bitch. You just managed to resist a ghost possession and getting no stress out of it.
Shit.
You feel a wave of cold rush through you, and then you feel something, an unwelcome guest in your mind. It wants you specifically, and you force it out. It takes all your willpower, but you fucking kick it out the door and you say, "Motherfucker, if you're gonna live here, I expect rent."
Yeah. So what happened is when he learnt the incantation, he learnt the safe word effectively for it. I just realised safe word has other connotations, but let's keep going.
I know.
The
Go on.
And basically, when he was learning so much about the safety aspect of the ritual that he didn't learn the ritual sufficiently. So it's kind of like he learned how to do it safely. He just didn't learn how to do it.
Right.
And when it comes in, he suddenly just does the kind of incantation to boot it out of his mind. Also with his spirit charm as well, of course, his spirit bane.
Of course.
And he pushes it out and goes, "Damn it! I need to learn more about that." And yeah, I'll take my XP for that. Thank you.
All right there.
With that done, Kevin, you were messaging me something for like you will have suffered harm from the explosion of the of the boat. That is true. I'm gonna say you're gonna suffer quite a few burns. I'm gonna say that's gonna be a level 2 harm. It's a few burns and some detritus splinters. You know that. All right. I write it down however you want, but it's gonna be a level 2 harm. It wasn't pretty. Ah. Ow. Ouchie.
Yeah.
So, you did what you have to do. Now the only issue is getting the fuck out of there. Let's resolve this quickly. How are you making yourself sparse?
I'm going to answer Cass first because Cass roleplayed something with me. And I turn around and say, nothing. Just trying to step out of my comfort zone. A little further out of my comfort zone than I expected. Oh, it's a bit nippy around here, isn't it? You, sir, what's the top speed of this?
I would like to trigger a flashback on that.
Go ahead.
You said when we arrived at the boatyard, they were like, "Sure, you can have a gondolier to ferry you about."
Yeah.
I turned on the charm and I asked for somebody who was really good, who knew the waterways like the back of their hand,
Absolutely. Okay.
If we're making a getaway, I want it to be snappy.
Okay. I understand. I'm in a weird position. I don't know if that will be a 1 stress flashback or a 2 stress flashback. You know, it's one of those things where I feel like it's not too it's simple enough to be 1, but also not simple enough. I'm gonna make it 1. I'll say it's a 1 stress flashback. You were there, and it's just asking for a favor to make your job better. Yeah. Um, give me a um, give me a roll.
I'm
Of
going
Okay.
to I'm going to stack and use my second foresight. The person that Cass is talking to was one of the guys that I shared tobacco with.
Sounds good to me.
Go ahead, Cat.
Position?
Position, I'm gonna say controlled. You're in good terms with the gondoliers. It's asking for an aid in you doing your job. So,
Effect?
effect, standard.
So I get 1
Control
bonus dice.
from Jacob. That's true. Oh my god, what is it with today's rolls?
The pain.
No, I didn't mean it like that. No, I know. I didn't mean to cause offense. I'm so sorry. Listen. Just forget about it. We'll sort it out. It's fine.
Back to the present, and you're with the same guy. He's like a middle of the road gondolier. He just does his job. He doesn't have any particular knowledge of the occult. He's just like, hey man, I ferry the people. That's what I do. All right. Yeah. What now?
As fast as you can, dear boy. As fast as you can.
He nods, puts his oar to the bottom of the canal, pushes, and as the stamping of boots and clattering of goat hooves fill the night, as smoke rises into the air in Crowsfoot, not an unfamiliar sight, but still not a welcoming one either. You guys head back to the gondoliers. I'm gonna mark that as a job well done. Let's go move to.
Wow, you've got a
Chaos.
low bar, man. You've got a low bar. Cat, you're muted.
Yeah, no. So the job's done, but we brought all the ghosts with us.
You don't
Yes?
know
I'm
that.
not.
Oh, we brought
I'm
at
not
least
coming
one.
back.
I've got a friend now.
Oh, you're not
I'm not
coming back to
coming.
the gondoliers.
I'm not coming back to the gondoliers.
Okay, so you guys, let's do payoff. You go back to the gondoliers, and she's impressed. Crude, she admits, but impressive nonetheless. So by default, you guys 2 reputation, which is enough to fill your reputation bar, meaning that you guys are primed for rising in tier soon, but we'll cover that later. As word makes round of, you know, the of the mysterious fire in the middle of the canal, and you know somehow they attribute it to the Dark Hole solution. The gondoliers talk about, they talk. They are members of the community after all. They talk with people and say, yeah, these people did a job for us in, getting rid of some messy spirits. So yeah, you're primed to rise in tier, but we'll cover that later. You're a Maxim. Okay, and as promised, I sell, pays you all 3 coin. That's what she promised. That's what you got. And yeah, divide that among yourself however you want. You can put it all into the crew, or you can split it among yourselves. It's,
Let's put it in the crew for now, and then we can take it out if we need it.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because if you want to rise in tier, you need to spend coin. Okay. Second of all, and yeah, I still did remember the second part of your agreement. I'm gonna do that roleplay later after we done all this. Second part, heat. It wasn't a high profile target. I don't think it can happen on hostile turf. Not at war. No killing was involved. However, I do think that was pretty loud. So I'm gonna say you guys maybe 4 heat sound about good. You don't blow up something and then expect to go unnoticed.
Yeah, and it's our signature calling card almost.
3, 4. Yeah. Um.
Was there a crater?
Yeah.
It was probably us.
Yeah. Entanglement.
I feel like Cole is maybe a bit
On the nose.
demure and understated for what we're going for.
There's a similar substance. It's also black. It tends to come in a powdered form.
I think in this neck of the woods, people call that stuff dark coal.
Okay, I roll. Okay, this is gonna get fun. And then downtime. However, before we get into downtime, I think you guys have a do talk with Isel, haven't you? So after the job well done, she congratulates you, gives you your due coin, and she says, "As promised, I did have one of my best hit the books, as it were." She stares at her compatriot. Griggs, let them know what you know. Let them know what you have. And what she's motioning to a you know it's a whisper, because he looks weird as fuck. He is dressed in heavy, dark clothing, not particularly made for people who spend most of the time outside driving boats. Um, and the detail that catches your eye is that all whispers have a thing called a Spiritbane mask. It's it's kind of like their arcane focus, for lack of a better term, right? But it's something they put on and off depending on the situation. He has his spirit mask on all the time, meaning that basically he is looking into the ghost field 24/7. He comes over and in a very low, raspy voice starts saying, he says coldly, "There's many rituals related to ice. Many religions of the Forgotten Gods used to practice it. However, I managed to stumble onto a particular book near in a library in Charterhall. Ice are very relevant to a being called Kotar. That's Kotar. Not much is known about him besides the fact that he is a being that lived prior to the calamity. Some say he was a powerful sorceress in great adventure or demon. Regardless, there are some artifacts out there known as his, one of them known as the Eye of Kotar. What they do, I do not know. But it's a
that these are sought after by the higher ups.
I imagine some people would pay good coin to find them.
You can see the simmering rage, which throughout all of this hasn't been that present. But we were told that the Burning Ring is mostly
Circle
made
Flame.
up. Sorry, Circle of Flame.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was the Johnny Cash reference catching up.
Yeah, there we go.
You're welcome.
We were told they are mostly populated by nobility, is they're saying. Of course, they have everything. They want to find something they haven't got.
Circle of Flame is as inscrutable, really inscrutable, more so than any of your typical secret societies. He looks towards Isel. I said my piece. Is that it?
This
She
artifact.
nods.
What is it?
The Eye of Kotar. What it does, I don't know. I just know it's one of many.
We'll find out.
Again.
More. What was your name again, friend?
Griggs. He
Griggs.
doesn't like to hear his name. Griggs.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So he looks towards Isel. I've said my piece. Can I go? She nods. He just walks out. God
I
knows
tip
where.
a nod to Griggs. A look of genuine. I mean, you can see the rictus on Jacob's face. It's no secret that of his hatred of the nobility. But there's an absolute locking of eyes and a look of genuine thanks to Griggs.
I know there's a detail you notice when you look at his eyes. This man's haunted. He seems some shit.
I'm literally haunted now.
So, I sell size. Well, I think that's a successful transaction. If I would call that a successful transaction at any rate. Do we have any more business?
Not from me. It was an absolute pleasure doing business with you.
Likewise. And with that, let's head to downtime. So, you know the drill. Everyone gets. Yep. Mike, shoot.
So, unless there's anything that Checkers needs to do, I'd just like to add one extra scene if I can.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So it's dark. Obviously, it's always dark, but you know the lights below have gone. The final parts of the burning embers that flashed up against the edge of the dock are gone. The lights of the blue cloaks gone. The dark patch on the roof across the river is still there, and from there I've been watching and waiting for everybody else to leave, and I've remained stationary, quietly waiting to see who comes to investigate what happened to their boat. And I have been there maybe for a day, maybe for days, but I am camped and waiting. Somebody's coming to claim what they left behind, to
Okay.
investigate what they lost.
Okay. The usual gamut of investigations come across. Bluecoats, spear wardens. After all, if something blows up, give me a moment. So yeah, the usual gamut of investigators in bluecoats, spear wardens. After all, if something blows up, chances are someone died, and someone dies, they need to be cremated pronto. All right. However, someone does come up that doesn't fit the bill.
All the
Of
officials have been and done their thing and then
Yeah.
dissipated. And then this guy
You
turns
see,
up, or person.
you see a woman, very properly dressed, very like this is Victorian era, so it wouldn't be out of place. But even she's like old-fashioned, hair tied into a bun, bags under her eyes, right? She's coming across. She's coming with two figures. Probably people she hired, right? Maybe some of the local gangs, maybe a member of the Crows or the Lampblacks, right? Goes across the shore, points to where the boat used to be, asking if like, yes, this one, and then the men just start pulling out some of the bodies, and then some of the I think she's in particularly looking for a bunch of bottles, right? And she has a disappointed look in her eye when some of those bottles have been broken, right? She like pinches the bridge of her nose, has in frustration, politely nods, hands properly tied sacks of coin to the two gang members that gleefully that helpfully provided their service, and then she heads off with her cargo into the night.
Okay, I think we'll call the scene there, and we may flash back to the delay point.
Cool.
I saw Cat react, and I'm curious. I want to know. Because I have a theory too.
These bottles. This is exactly what you tried to do earlier. There are spirits in those bottles.
Yeah, I think we're at the same place. I'm there going, was this boat a bloody spirit bottle factory?
Okay.
No wonder yours failed.
What could be a better diversion for whatever you want to get up to than dredging up bodies, putting spirits in bottles, and releasing them at an opportune moment?
And
Okay.
not only that, but the spirits seem to be bound to the boat. There's one detail that I don't want to gloss over for Kev.
Mhm.
Didn't you walk away with the bloody mask?
That is true, and I was gonna
I'm
get
not
to it.
there. Yeah, I'm not there.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Ticker's
We're gonna
not-
close. We're gonna close the stream with this. We're gonna handle downtime beginning of the next session if you guys are okay with it, because we're
Sure.
kind of running a bit late. Kev, the mask. It's a bronze mask, and something you notice inside is that there's a bunch of smaller runes inside the mask. All right. However, this mask seems familiar. Because when you've been doing your rounds, walking around the city, right? You know, going to see Eckerd, it's getting materials for your various pet projects, literally. You've seen people walking around with these similar masks. They're the Spirit Wardens. And they have exactly the same type of mask as the one you have, except theirs are not dented and basically in pristine condition.
Mhm.
The mask doesn't do anything around you, doesn't react. If you can get someone with arcane knowledge to look at those runes, maybe you can find out what the deal with it is, but you're fine. Jacob,
Yep.
where do you go after the score? Do you go back directly to the lair?
No, I start my first downtime as soon as bloody possible. I go to Griggs, and I'm going to spend my first downtime action doing whatever he bloody well wants in return for getting rid of this ghost.
I was going to say, because I did roll entanglements, and shit you not, I rolled Unquiet Dead. I want to say for the sake of the pacing and everything, you don't go to Griggs right away.
Okay.
You go to your standard opium den, and you decide to hit the smoke, loose yourself, and and you do so for a few seconds, but then you notice when you come back from your stupor, the entire den is empty. It's completely barren. The only person lying in there is you. Pipe still in hand. You're wondering if this is a opium-induced delusion, or if a fire went off and you weren't the only one who noticed. However, you feel a cold breeze. You feel the you feel the hairs on your arms and on the back of your head just stand up. It's just one. It's just a single ghost. It appears to you blurry. You can't tell whether or not this was what type of person this was, who they were in life. However, they can still speak, and they say a very simple sentence to you. I want what's yours. And we're gonna leave it there for tonight, everyone. Thank you again to Simon, Kevs, Mike, and Kat for joining us to another wild ride of the Dark Hole Solution. If you really enjoyed it, again, just support us by subscribing or just joining the Discord and see what other stupid bullshit we get out to. Yeah, I hope. Noticed today was a slower session than usual. I hope that was okay.
Hey, you have setup sessions. So
Yeah, and yeah, I guess we're gonna be rating someone now. So
yes, so we are going to actually raid another RP stream. Some of the feedback
Gotcha.
that we've had recently is we do have our allies and friends that we raid, as it should be. But also we should be raiding other RP streams.
that sounds good.
So we are going to be raiding Check D's Out, who
I like that.
was recently part of a Friday follow on Twitch on Twitter, that we were also included in by the lovely DM Sprinkles. So thank you very much for that, Sprinkles, for the Friday follow, and we were in a good list as well. We were in a list with some quality people. So very happy about that. Big thank you to Hermit. Big thank you also to, let me just bring it up very quickly. We had a follow throughout this as well.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, we had. No, I'm clicking on the wrong button already. I'm doing really well. We had two follows, Lemon and AJMH11. So thank you very much for the follow. I hope that you join us for our other games. Next game is on Friday, 8 till 11 UTC, and that is our long-running D&D campaign, The Benefactor, where we'll have Shenanigans and this time Rodrigo playing. The other game that we're going to have is Session 1 of Lancer, The Iron Wall Adventures, A Fast Farewell. Rodrigo's been angling for me to get started on this for a while, and I've been really pleased.
I've been waiting for this.
So Lancer, if you don't know it, is a game based on mechs. So pick the mech genre of your choice: Gundam, Mech Warrior, BattleTech, any of that.
Titanfall.
Titanfall, yeah, Titanfall even. You can do all of these in this. It's set in the very far future where most of the galaxy has been explored or populated or colonized, and we're going to follow the adventures of the Iron Wall Security Battalion, a canon group that I've made, a canon faction that I've made, who go out to the far reaches of space and protect the innocent. We have Rodrigo, Sean, Ed, and Vic, who are going to be playing our pilots, but you, the viewer, get to play as well as our long-running viewers, Hermit and Scorn, found out in Session 0. We invited two of our frequent viewers into our Session 0, and they've already got themselves an item. I worry. But yes, you can play, because Nightbot is going to be programmed with a bunch of things for the Angels, also known as the Archangel Air Support Unit. You as viewers are going to be able to play and be called on by the players to perform attacks, help repair things, or do whatever it is that Hermit and Scornfuse do. See the pirate game for reference. Yes, so you'll be playing with us, and you'll be able to roleplay in the chat as well. So please come along, please be active, and roll up your character. Much like the pirate game, you will be able to have a character that will be canon in the game. Obviously, the players will get the majority of the action, but we will be calling you in as well. Yeah. Yes, Hermit's just said, yes, worry. Yes, so very excited for that, and we'll have a few friends coming in as well, both for the art and also doing some of the voice acting as well for part of it. So very, very stoked for that. And we have sent an invite out to pilot.net, which is the Lancer Discord, for that as well. Anyway, we are going to go and raid in just a second, so please stay on the line, and I'll leave it to Rodrigo to say the final word.
No, just thanks everyone for playing and for watching, and we'll see you hopefully next week and see how deeper the goal of the whole of the Dark Hole solution can get.
Don't challenge them.
We need more explosives. We can dig deeper.
It's so funny to me. Today was a slower session, and the heist itself was actually relatively lower risk than the last two you did, and yet everything went more wrong in this one than the previous two.
No, it wasn't lower risk. The outside influences were lower risk. We were the same risk we've always been.
We're the highest risk factor in any situation.
We couldn't go any lower. We couldn't dig a hole any deeper. We were at sea level.
Once you've got to rock bottom, all there is to get up the pick.
Yeah, exactly. See you, everyone.
Okay. See you later on, everybody. And give some love to Check These Out. They are a lovely crew.
Check this out.
Check this out. See you later, guys.
Awesome fun, guys.
That was a lot
3,
of fun.
2, 1. Bye bye.
There we go. Yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was slower